Okay, so the thing is like this. We begin a new Chumash, Parsha Shemos, Chumash Shemos, ve'ela Shemos b'nei Yisrael aboy Mitzrayma, es Yaakov, ish uveisoi bo. So the tour in Hilchas Shabbos, Siman Reish Pei Hey, and so also the Shulchan Aruch, say v'tzorech li zoher, one should be careful, a hashlim ha-parsha im ha-tzibur, to complete the parsha with the tzibur, not to rely on Kriyas HaTorah. Needless to say that one should be listening to Kriyas HaTorah, but that's not enough. Tzorech lizor lahashlim ha-parsha im ha-tzibur. The Omer Rav Huna, Bereder Rav Yehuda, Omer Reb Yoina, Omer Reb Ami. This is a Gemara in Brachas Lavches, La'olam, Yashlim Odom Parshi Yosef im ha-tzibur, Shnayim Mikra ve'echot Targum. So one should complete his parshiyos with the tzibur, Shnayim Mikra, twice every pasuk, and once the Targum. So the Levush over there writes, Chivu Chazal, Al Kol Adam Yisrael, Sheyashlam HaParsha B'chol Shavua Im HaTzibur, Shnayim Mikra ve'echot Targum, Kedei Sheyeh Baki B'Torah, that a person should become a Baki in Torah Shebechsav. V'simneich, so he gives now a siman, Ve'ela Shemois, Vav Aleph Lamed Hey, Shin Mem Vav Sof, is Rosh Tevis Ve'chayiv, Odom, Likrois, Haparsha, Shnayim, Mikra, Ve'echot, Targum. V'zeh Chayovim Kol B'nei Yisrael. So Ve'ela Shemois, B'nei Yisrael. Similarly, it appears in the Baal HaTurim over here, and the Choymas Anoch from the Chidah brings so in the name of the Rabbeinu Ephraim. Yeah, so these are Rishonim. It's, maybe we can ask, I mean, this is already the beginning of the second Chumash of the Chamisha Chumshei Torah. So why is this chiyuv of Lahashlim Parshi Yosef Im Hatzibur alluded to in only in the beginning of the second Chumash? I mean, this chiyuv really is noyeg, obviously, from the beginning of Parshas Bereshis. Why is the remez over here? There's another point that needs to be paid attention to. That's Bnei Yisrael in this pasuk means literally the sons of Yisrael, the sons of Yaakov, as the pasuk continues to say, Reuven, Shimon, Levi, Yehuda. The sum total is Shivim Nefesh because Ish Uveisoi Bo. Right? But the Bnei Yisrael over here is the 12 Bnei Yisrael. But in the Remez, that alludes to the Chiyuv of Lahashlim Parshi Yosef Im HaTzibur, we're talking about Bnei Yisrael in the broader and later sense of Adas Bnei Yisrael, of all Yidden. So why is this chiyuv that applies to all Yidden, Kol Echad Ve'echad MiYisrael, alluded to in the pasuk of Bnei Yisrael, which is the sons of Yaakov, and nevertheless the Levush says that V'zeh Chayovim Kol Bnei Yisrael, which means all Jews, in spite of the fact that the pasuk is talking about Bnei Yisrael, the sons of Yaakov. So it would seem that this is really the whole point, because we came to Mitzrayim as a family. An extended family of the Bnei Yisrael, Ishu Beisai. But what happened in Mitzrayim is, as we say, Vayehi Shom Lagoy. In Mitzrayim, we became a goy, we became a nation, we became a ummah. Now, in the blessing of Paru, Vayishritzu, Vayirbu, Vayatzmu, B'ma'oid Ma'oid, there's also a downside. There's a danger of losing the personal importance, the sense of importance that every individual needs to have as an individual. The individual could be swallowed up in the tzibur, I mean, Rashi already points out that the Torah B'chlal didn't have to mention over here who the Bnei Yisrael were. Who were the Bnei Yisrael that came to Mitzrayim? That was already said in Parshas Vayigash. It's Mefurish. All the Shivim Nefesh are mentioned in Parshas Vayigash. So why does the Torah B'chlal have to repeat it? So Rashi says, Afal pi shemon on b'chayehem b'shmoisa, even though he already counted them during their lifetime by name, chazar umenoon b'misason. He recounts them after their death, lohidiachi basan, to let us know how precious they are. Shenim shulu lekaychavim, they're compared to stars. Shemoitziam umachnisam b'mispar ub'shmoisa, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu brings them in and out in numbers and by name. Shenemar, a pasuk in Yeshaya, hamoitzi b'mispar tzva'am l'chulam b'shem yikra. So in other words, at the opening of this Chumash, where we become from a family, a nation, the Torah repeats the names of the Bnei Yisrael to emphasize that the increase in quantity doesn't take away from the importance, from the qualitative importance of every Yachid. In other words, it's Hamoitzi b'mispar tzva. Yeah, the numbers are huge, but at the same time, l'kulam b'shem yikra. Every individual has his name. Everybody is a star. Every star is unique. Every star has its name and its mission. So Moshe Rabbeinu and Ezra HaSofer instituted Kriyas HaTorah B'tzibur. But then came Chazal and they added a chiyuv on every individual. Lahashlim Parshiyosav im Hatzibur. To complete his parsha, Parshiyosav, along with the tzibur, in order that every individual should internalize his parsha according to his abilities, according to his character, his nature, his unique qualities. So on one hand, the individual needs to be attached to the tzibur and united with the tzibur. It has to be Parshiyosav im HaTzibur. That's the Kishani la'atzmi mo'ani. Who am I if I'm on my own, if I'm alone? But at the same time, he needs to know that im ein ani li mili. If I am not for myself, nobody can do it for me. In other words, you can't rely on the tzibur. Every yochid has to fend for himself. So every yochid is mechuyev lahashlim parshiyosav im hatzibur. It could be that originally this was niskayim with the kriyas hatzibur, but later Chazal saw that it's not enough, and in their times already there was a need to institute a chiyuv of lahashlim parshiyosav im hatzibur in order that every individual should recognize that his unique role and his unique shaykhis to Torah. So that's really what this pasuk of Eila Shmois B'nei Yisrael Aboy Mitzrayim was all about. That even when we're Bo'im Mitzrayim, and in Mitzrayim we become Vayihi Shom Legoy, we become a nation, but nevertheless we still preserve the Shemos of the Bnei Yisrael, the original Bnei Yisrael. We're the community Adas Bnei Yisrael, but we still retain the identity of the original Bnei Yisrael, and that's why Chayev Adam Lahashlam Pashi Yosef Matzibu Shnai Mikra Vechatargum, as the Levush says, V'zeh Chayovim Kol Yisrael. In other words, because Kol Yisrael really see themselves as those original Bnei Yisrael, where each one of them was unique and special and important, and the Yud Beis Shvatim is the foundation of the entire Klal Yisrael. So also, all Bnei Yisrael in all generations have those qualities. Now the Targum, first of all, the Targum, how does the Targum come in here? Besides for the fact that the Targum is important for the personal learning, you have to be able to translate the words and understand their full meaning. It's also shaykh to the Parsha of Golus, because besides for the fact that when we were goyle, when we were exiled from one country to another country, the pshat is that We speak in the languages of those Goluyos, and that's what necessitates the Targum. So Ve'ela Shmois B'nai Yisrael Aboy Mitzrayim is really where the Targum is also alluded to. It's also because in Golus, it's not just about translating the words, but it's about translating the message of Torah based on the culture and the mentality of the various places that we wander to. So the Shnayim Mikra ve'Echad Targum is shaykh to the Ba'im Mitzrayim. You know, there's another thought-provoking thing in this parsha, because in spite of the fact that the ikar of the parsha is the story of Klal Yisrael in Golus in Mitzrayim, there are many individuals that appear in this parsha, and even such that seemingly don't have to do with the main story, and the Torah is marich. In other words, we have Shifra and Pur, we have the Bas Paroi, we have the Ish Mitzri and the Ish Ivri, then we have the Shnei Anoshim Ivrim that are Nitzim, then we have the Benois Yisroi, and we have the Roim, and we have Yisroi, and we have Tzipora. Could be that also has to do with this, because when we're focused on the nation, we need to remember that individuals play an important role in shaping reality. And therefore we mention all kind of individuals that played a role, a big role or a small role in this story. But I think there's another message, because, you know, we say, Vayehi Sham L'goy, Shahoyu Yisrael Mitsuyonim Sham. In other words, we were distinct. And when that happens, you know, there's a danger that we will develop a mentality of us and them. In other words, all those that are outside of our group are unimportant, or even maybe negative, evil. And all those that belong, that are one of us, are great, are good, are perfect. You know, and therefore, Toich Kedei, as we're becoming a people, we learn about the Bas Paroi, who was an Egyptian girl, and she had Rachmanis on Moshe Rabbeinu. We have an Ish Mitzri that hits an Ish Ivri, but at the same time we have Shnei Anoshim Ivrim Nitzim. And just like through the Bas Paroi, Moshe Rabbeinu was saved, so also through the Shnei Anoshim Ivrim Nitzim, Moshe comes into a state of where his life is in danger, and he has to run away. And then we have Moshe Rabbeinu protecting the B'nai Yisroi, and then we have Yisroi, who's a Kohen Midyan, and he is actually Makir Tov to Moshe Rabbeinu, and he says, Ayoy, Lama Azavten Esayish, Kiren Loi, V'yoichal Lechem. So we don't generalize. Every individual chooses his path. And that's an important message as we're becoming a people, as we're becoming a nation, not to look at, you know, that all insiders are perfect and all outsiders are imperfect, but we have to see the Ezeu Chacham Haloi Meid Mikol Adam. And we have to know that just because we are it doesn't mean that we don't have flaws and that we don't have what to correct and what to fix. And it doesn't mean that everybody who's on the outside is negative. You know, not only was Moshe Rabbeinu saved by Isha Mitzris, it's even possible that Egyptian women were those that undid the Atzas Paroi in the Gzeira of Ureisem Alo Avnoim in Ben Hu Vahamiten Oisoi. You know, the pasuk says, "Vayomer Melech Mitzrayim la miyaldois ha'ivrios." What does that mean? Who are the miyaldois ha'ivrios? You know, miyaldois ha'ivrios could be understood as midwives that are Ivrios that are Jewish, the Jewish midwives. Or it could mean the Meyaldois of the Ivrios. So the Gemara in Soita, and so also Rashi on the Pasuk, says that Shifra and Pua were Yocheved and Miriam. So Lefizeh, the Meyaldois themselves were Ivrios. But there's a Medrash Tadshe. It's probably you don't have a Medrash Tadshe, so in the Torah Shlema, Ois Cotton Kuf Samach Vov over here on the Pasuk, he brings the Medrash Tadshe where it's mafurish that Shifra and Pua were Egyptian women, and so held the Avravanel, and so it's in the Paneach Rosa. So the Lefizeh, the Pshat Miyaldois HaIvriyos is not that they were Jewish midwives, but they were midwives that were Miyaled Ivriyos. Now, L'chara, the Pirush HaGemara is Muchach because that it means that they were Jewish. Why do I say that? Because we see that the Miyaldois tell Paroi, Ki loy kanoshim ha-mitzriyos ha-ivriyos, ki choyos heino. B'terem tovoi alehen ha-miyaledes v'yolodu. So it comes out that Jewish women don't need a midwife. So the pshat is that they were not midwives for Jewish women. They were miyaldos that were Jewish. They were miyaldos Avery, Shifra and Pua were Yocheved and Miriam, and they happened to be Yidden, but they were taking miyaldos for mitzriyos, not for Ivriyos, because the Ivriyos didn't need miyaldos. And that's why they are saying to Paro that we don't have a way to be Mekayim your Gzeira, because loy kanoshim ha-mitzriyos ha-ivriyos ki-choyos heino b'terem tovei aleim ha-miyaledes v'yalodu. The miyaledes comes to the Egyptian women, not to the Jewish women. So how can we learn, like the Medrash Tache, that miyaldos ha-ivriyos means the women that are miyaled the Ivriyos? But in Pasuk Yud Zayin it says, "Vatireno hamiyaldos eso Elokim, v'loy osu kasher diber aleim melech Mitzrayim, vatechayeno es hayalodim." So Rashi says, "Vatechayeno misapkois lohem mayim umozay," that they provided them with food and drink. The hechrich to that is because it says already, "V'loy osu kasher diber aleim melech Mitzrayim." So they didn't kill the kids. So what is vatechayeno sayalodim? Obviously, so Rashi is saying vatechayeno sayalodim means that they gave them life. Not only did they not kill them, but they were mesapkois lahem mayim umozeh. No, but the next pasuk says, "Vayikra melech Mitzrayim lamiyaldos, vayoyim Elohem madua asisen hadover hazeh." So he's not just asking why they didn't kill the babies, but he's saying Madua Sisen Adover Hazeh Vatechayeno Es Hayolodim. So he's asking them also about the fact that they fed the babies. Now what's their answer? That Loika Noshim Ha'Ivriyos that only explains why they didn't kill the babies. Al ha'avnoyim, which is what the Ramban says, that he told them to kill the baby al ha'avnoyim before they managed to notice that the baby is alive, so that the gzeira shouldn't be known. So this explains why they didn't kill the babies, because b'terem tovei aleim ha'miyaledes v'yalodim. But how does this answer the question, Madua asisin adova hazeh v'atechayeno sayalodim, that you gave them food? So I say, Dafka, according to the Midrash, it's better, because they were the miyaldos of the Ivriyos. They were Egyptian women, but they were the miyaldos of the Ivriyos. Now they explain to Paroi that miyaldos of Ivriyos have a different role than the miyaldos of Mitzrayos. Miyaldos of Mitzrayos, they bring about the birth, whereas the miyaldos of the Ivriyos are not involved in the birth, because Ki loy kanoshim ha-mitzriyos ha-ivriyos, ki choyos say the b'terem tavei aleim ha-miyalad zilo. So the whole role and function of the miyaldos of the ivriyos is mesapkos le'mayim umazon. And therefore, if they wouldn't do that, the Gzeira would become known. Because their whole role and function is mesapkos lahem mayim umazon. Ki loy kanoshim ha-mitzriyos ha-ivriyos, ki choyos say no. B'terem tavei aleim ha-miyalad. So what is a miyaledis for Jewish women? A miyaledis for Jewish women is the one that's mesapik lahamayim umazon. So we couldn't hold back the mayim umazon because then it would become obvious that Paroi made a gzeira. Al kol panim, I'm just saying, according to the Midrash, that the miyaldos, it comes out that the miyaldos that saved the kol haben, the killing of the banim were gar mitzriyos. So not only Moshe Rabbeinu was saved by a bas paroi, but all the banim were nitzel from the gzeres paroi through the noshim ivriyos. So again, dafke in this parasha, when we become a people, when we become a nation, the Torah emphasizes that every individual chooses his path. So we shouldn't develop a mentality of it's us and them, but it's about who every individual is. Because that mentality robs us of the ability to be a chacham haloi made mikol adam, and it also causes us to justify all the wrongs that we do. And then obviously, this is in the broad sense. In a narrower sense, this problem we have in the various groupings within the Jewish people, where today, we have this group and that group and the other group, and when a group develops this mentality of us and them, so they learn nothing from anyone that's outside their particular group, and they also justify everything, all the wrongs that happen within their group, and therefore it's important that we remember that every individual is boicher his path. The Orach Chaim HaKadosh writes in Parshas Yisro, Yud Ches Chof Aleph, that the Torah, we have the Parsha Va'ato Sechze in the Torah. He says, and I'm reading to you his Lashon, he says, Laharois Hashem es B'nai Yisrael. Hashem wants to show B'nai Yisrael. Hador Hazeh v'chol dor v'dor. The door of the Yotzei Mitzrayim, the door HaMidbar, in every generation, v'chol dor v'dor. Ki yesh b'umas ha'olam g'dolim b'chochma u'b'haskola. Yeah. V'hakavana b'zeh ki loy ba'a ha'bechira b'Yisrael l'tzad sheyesh b'maskola v'hakora yoyser mikol omes. Yeah, we weren't chosen because we're smarter, because we're brighter, because we're better. He says no. V'zelach haskolas Yisrael. So that comes to teach us that we weren't chosen because of our given characteristics, and Hakadosh Baruch Hu chose us. In other words, chose us in the sense that He gave us a mission of Atem tiyu li mamleches koyanim v'goy kodesh, and every individual has the responsibility to do to the best of his ability what he can to fulfill this mission. Okay, Rabbi Isai, I wish you all a good Shabbos.